Alright, what's going on, audience? It's MindHype here, and today I'm bringing you a very cool video. It's going to be my first ever non-video game related video. We're going to be doing a review of Trippie Redd's entire discography, all of his albums. A few disclaimers to get out of the way before we begin. I use Apple Music, so I'm only going to be covering the albums or projects, mixtapes, whatever, that are on Apple Music. So yeah, that's for starters there. We'll go through each album one by one, discussing the songs, and I'll give it a rating at the end. And I do have like a very particular rating system. Sorry, I have notes on my phone, so if you see me looking down at any point during this video, that is why. So how the rating system works is if it gets a 0, that means I don't think there are any good songs on the album. Or what I'll call them misses. If it's a bad song, I'll call it a miss. If it's a good song, I'll call it a hit. A hit has nothing to do with commercial success in the MindHype cinematic universe, alright? So a 1 means that there's at least one good song on the album, but obviously it's going to be a pretty bad album. A 2 to 3 means there's a few good songs, but overall it's a bad album, and I probably won't listen to it again. A 4 to 5 means there's a handful of good songs, but it's not really worth listening to again. 6 to 7 means it's a solid album with plenty of hits, or it just has good flow throughout. Like overall, it's a good album, even though there's not a lot of standout songs. And 8 to 9 means it's a pretty good album, and I will probably listen to it again. And then a 10 means it's a good album, like a great album, but it doesn't mean it's perfect. There could still be some bad songs, but overall, it's a really, really good album. And then what I call a 10 plus basically means that all the songs are good. An example would be, in my opinion, 2014 Forest Hill Drives by J. Cole. I would give it 10 plus, just because I think every song on that album hits. Okay, I think that should get everything out of the way, all the house cleaning, so let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright, Trippie Redd, the grandfather of emo rap. Trippie Redd has made a name for himself by forging his own path with a unique style and flow, I guess. He like I said, he pioneered the emo rap kind of trend, because he blends together, pop punk and emo, like rock music of the, early to mid 2000s, and he blends that with, modern contemporary trap sounds and gangster rap sounds. So it's very interesting. He is very unique. I think like when you think of like that combination of like pop punk and rap, you probably think of MGK, but I think MGK does it terribly. But then I think of Trippie Redd and Juice WRLD. I think they're the two that are the best at it. They blend it the best. They're just so musically talented that they make it work. Another interesting thing about Trippie Redd is that it's very refreshing to hear, a modern rapper, make music about love, so earnestly and so raw, and full of emotion. Like a lot of rappers, it's all, like fuck bitches or whatever. But I mean, Trippie obviously does have some of that, because as we'll go through with this, you'll see that he falls into that like very typical rapper sound in some of his tracks, but in a lot of his tracks he also kind of pushes the boundaries of like what rappers could be talking about, especially in his earlier stuff. So we'll definitely take a look at that, and I just think it's very, very refreshing, very interesting, very kind of niche to have someone like speak about love and like the heartbreaks and stuff like that. Well, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into his first album on Apple Music. It's technically a mixtape, and that would be A Love Letter to You, the first one. His debut mixtape, A Love Letter to You. Alright, so overall, I think it's a pretty good mixtape. I think it has plenty of hits. Some of the best ones, obviously, Love Scars is probably his breakout hit. I think Love Scars 2 is a pretty good track. Romeo and Juliet is very catchy. Pulse 1469, we'll touch on that one in a minute. And Can You Rap Like Me, I think, is a really good track as well. But I think like all the songs are pretty much not bad. Like it's one of those where not all the songs are great, but it can be listened to front to back and still be pretty enjoyed. Yeah, so let's touch on Pulse 1469 quick. It has a, so I guess I don't really remember it all too well, but I do know that Trippie and Tekashi 69 used to have like a bit of a friendship, and then they had a falling out. And I'm not sure what it's on. I'm not really gonna speak on it, but the thing is Pulse 1469 features Tekashi 69, and I think it's a pretty good song. Well, Trippie's part is pretty good. 6ix9ine's part fucking blows, and I'm not even like a 6ix9ine hater. Like, I think he has some good songs, but in this song, he particularly sucks. And it's because he does that thing where his grills, like, he gets like a bunch of saliva in his mouth, and I imagine it's from his grill, so he's like, sounds like Sammy Sprinklers from fucking Benchwarmers or whatever. Anyway, Trippie's parts are really good, so it's awkward because they like hate each other now, so to have this song, it's kind of awkward, but it is what it is. It's still a decent track if you want to just skip Tekashi's part, to be honest. And I think overall it's very thematically focused. So the like story with the A Love Letter to You mixtape series, there's 4 of them so far, and they come after a major breakup in Trippie's life. And that's what I kind of mean when I say that Trippie kind of stands out from the rest when it comes to love, because he's like, so, you know, he actually tries, I keep saying, but you might not know. Not only does he like have these relationships, but he's willing to speak about them if they do end poorly, and he's willing to go back and give it another try. Like I said, there's 4 Love Letter to You mixtapes. That means he's had 4 major breakups since his music career has launched. So that is something just interesting, that he's willing to, try love, and just something that a lot of rappers don't do. Some of these rappers aren't even in relationships, they just be fucking or whatever. And I mean, to each their own. I'm a relationship guy. I'm married, obviously. So I just think it's cool, for an artist to do stuff like, I guess, I don't know if that's really coming across like I like it too. Anyway, the themes of the mixtape series is just like the feelings that you might have during and after a breakup. So he does speak on love quite a bit, especially in this first one. I think the first one might be the best, how like the tracks like fit together thematically. It has the most of like the love songs, and then there's also some other songs, because like you aren't just depressed during a breakup. Sometimes you have those days where you're trying to bounce back or whatever. So obviously Pulse 1469, Can You Rap Like Me, those are like confidence tracks and stuff like that. And it might be maybe a bit of a stretch, like, I don't know, I give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's intelligent enough and like musically like talented enough to make tracks with like specific themes in mind. And I mean, maybe he did just throw these tracks in here, but I think there's a reason that they're in there, and I think that reason is, you can't just be depressed all the time or whatever. But yeah, overall, really good debut mixtape. I give it an 8. All right, Love Letter to You 2. Now, this is the second in the series, and it is the second tape on Apple Music for Trippie Redd. I think this album is kind of bad, actually. There's a lot of misses. It starts out really strong because Bust Down, I believe Bust Down's the first Trippie Redd song I ever heard. I mean, I probably heard Love Scars before Bust Down, but the one that I really remember is Bust Down, in my mind, which is a really, really good song. But the thing is, it doesn't seem to fit like the Love Letter to You theme, which is kind of what I was talking about in the Love Letter to You one, is like some of these songs, they like don't technically seem to fit, but I think you can make the case that it does. What the fuck, Teddy? My cat just scared the shit out of me. But for like a mixtape like this to lead off with a song like Bust Down, I feel is kind of bizarre. But maybe that's just how he felt in that moment too. You have to give him credit. I think you have to give him credit. Like I said, I think he's musically talented and intelligent enough that you have to give him credit in that sort of regard. But it doesn't matter because the rest of the album sucks anyway. So it's like, it's just a miss overall in my opinion. Whoa, 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 I think is a decent song. I don't even know. Yeah, right there. That one's okay. But I think Overdose on Life's not bad. But just overall, there's a lot of misses. And it just seems to miss the mark in the Love Letter to You kind of theme overall. So overall, I give this album only a 2 because there's only 2 good songs. Although it could be dropped down to a 1 if maybe I'm being a little generous giving it a 2. So the third project on this list, and I believe this is technically his debut album. I think it's a pretty good album overall. It's diverse thematically and sonically. It has a lot of different like styles of tracks and a lot of different, topics, and I think that's really good in an album. Like, it's important to be focused and have a theme, which is really good about the first like Love Letter to You, but it's also good to have like different, just takes, I guess, different topics, different things to talk about. That way you're not talking about the same thing and it just gets boring. And even though it is very diverse, front to back, it flows well together. Like, you are like going through each song as you listen to it, and it's enjoyable. Like, each song takes you into the next one. I feel like, anyway. So I think it's a really good album to listen to front to back. There's a lot of really good tracks in this album as well, in my opinion. And like, even the misses aren't bad, so it's overall a pretty good album. Taking a Walk is a really good one in my opinion. Wish with Diplo, wow, I really like this song, and it's very unique in like the production, and I think that's just because it's produced by like a EDM DJ. But it's a really fucking good song. Missing My Idols is great. Forever Ever with Young Thug adds quite a bit to this song. It's really good. Even like these like middle of the pack ones, like Bang, I think Bang is kind of a weird listen to at first, but once you like start to enjoy it, it's pretty good. Not start to enjoy it, but after you like listen to it maybe once or twice, it really starts to grow on you, is what I'm trying to say. Dark Knight Demo was another one of the first Trippie tracks that I really fell in love with Travis Scott. That's a fantastic song. Shake It Up is great. Oomp's Revenge is great. And after I came back and re-listened to Underwater Fly Zone, I also think that's a really good song as well. So, like I said, front to back, a lot of really good songs on this album, and it ends off with a bang. So, all in all, I give this one a 9. Actually, I think this is one of the better, if not, actually, this might be the highest rated highest rated album in the list. So, really good, really good. If you're gonna listen to any Trippie Redd album, this might be the one. All right, A Love Letter to You 3. I think this one kind of starts to tie back to the first Love Letter to You, and I think, it could just be that this breakup and the first breakup kind of hit him a little bit harder, so he kind of like went all in on that like emotional, kind of depressed emo stuff. And maybe the second one, it just didn't hit him as hard. That's why he produced a worse mixtape. But anyway, A Love Letter to You 3 has plenty of really good songs. Topanga, the opening track, is solid. Firestarter, Toxic Waste, Can't Love Scars 3, Elevate and Motivate with Young Boy, which is a really good song. I Tried Loving, this Juice WRLD feature is really good as well, in my opinion. Yeah, overall, I just think like this one, it kind of like ties back to the first one. A Love Letter to You 3, I think you can tell was really made after a breakup just because of how much emotion he put into some of these songs. So overall, I give this one a 7. I think there's a couple misses, but it's still, pretty good overall. Okay. Exclamation point. I don't know how else to call it. So this one is basically just a gangster rap album, which is fine. I like gangster rap. I would probably call gangster rap my favorite genre, which is bizarre. I'm just a white dude from Wisconsin, but anyway. I don't know, it just kind of grabs me for some reason. But this album is really not that good overall. There's a couple of really good bangers, but that's it. There's only a couple, so it's like, it's hard to call it a good album. Yeah, so like some of the really good tracks from this album would be like I Try. I think this one gets stuck in my head all the time. Mac 10 is a really catchy gangster rap song, just like fucking, just want to shoot the block up or whatever. And Under Enemy Arms, I think, is a really solid song as well. So Lil Wayne, this song is kind of disappointing, because like, well, first of all, Lil Wayne is also my favorite rapper, but he's also Trippie's favorite from what I've heard in some of his interviews, and it's like his biggest inspiration. So it's kind of bizarre that the song called Lil Wayne it's just underwhelming. Like, it's not necessarily a bad song, but especially on like an album that is like very gangster rap oriented. That like this Lil Wayne song is slowed down, it's more sing songy, so it kind of sticks out first of all, and on top of that, it's just I don't know, it doesn't work. Like some of Trippie Redd sing song, like a lot of Trippie Redd sing songy songs they work, they're great, they're fantastic, but this one misses the mark, and that's just a shame that the title carries so much weight with that name, and it's just underwhelming and disappointing. Also, an interesting thing here, and we'll get to this in the next album. I believe it's the next one, yeah. A Coi Leray feature. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. So, but overall, I give this album a 4, not because it has like a lot of good songs, but like front to back, it's very cohesive. Like it has a topic, it sticks to it, so it's not a bad album. There's just not a lot of really good songs on it. But if you just want to throw on some, miscellaneous gangster rap by one artist, I guess. I don't know if you ever want to do that, but if you would, this would be an album for it, for sure. So, A Love Letter to You 4. So this album, or mixtape, comes directly after Trippie Redd's public breakup with Coi Leray. If you know who that is, she's a rapper as well. And like I said, she had a feature on that last album, so it's kind of interesting. Okay, I would like to specify that I reviewed the deluxe version. I didn't review the standard version. So just keep that in mind with some of these things I say, because the track order is different for the original version. That might not be a good thing. But we'll go ahead with this anyway. We'll go ahead. So I'm reviewing the deluxe version. Just keep that in mind. So this album or mixtape came right after his breakup with Coi Leray. And those two songs, Coi and Leray, are actually really good songs. Like you can feel like, how he's feeling when you listen to those songs. It's very interesting. Very well created. I mean, they're not great songs, they're depressing songs, but you can tell that they're very well crafted. So I'm sure if you're going through something like that, you can definitely vibe with these songs. But just like as an outsider looking in, I'm not gonna turn these songs on, in the car ride to work or whatever. But it starts off, the deluxe version starts off with a bang. This Chance the Rapper feature is really, really good. I'm a big fan of this song. It gets stuck in my head all the time. How I Was Raised with Tekka is just a good like gangster rap song. OTF Nightmare even, Dirk, Herbo, bringing some Chicago guys. And that brings me into another point, is that from like this point going forward in Trippie's discography, he likes to bring in like other rappers, especially other Midwest rappers, and then it's so cool because the production is like based on the city that those rappers are from. So this OTF Nightmare with Dirk and Herbo, it's like the production feels like Chicago drill production, which is really, really cool. And Trippie goes off. Like Trippie's very, he has good range, so he can like work on plenty of different types of production. So it's just really cool because like if you're a fan of these other like cities like music, because he also does a lot of like Michigan, like Detroit stuff too. So it's really cool. It works really well. And then I guess how this works is these first handful of tracks are the deluxe album, and then the regular starts off here. So if you start off here, like it goes through like some very emotional stuff here, and I just thought that was the middle of the album when I reviewed it. I didn't even realize. Yeah, so there's like all these emotional stuff, and then it gets into more gangster rap towards the end, which is cool. Because like I was saying with the Love Letter to You one, that's just how he is. Like he does like, you have your emotional stuff, you go through your emotional phase, and then you get to the bounce back, and that's where all the like, confident gangster rap stuff is towards the end. So I think that's pretty cool. Once you get down here, let's see here. The Grinch is one of my favorite Trippie tracks. This one is a banger. This is a great one to just bump in the car. Death featuring the Baby is also a really good one. It's that meme song that goes, "You Gon' Die," or whatever. That's a good one. And then, it just has some other, like, decent, but maybe not so notable gangster rap. So, like, I think overall, this is a pretty solid album. Or mixtape, technically. I just think it's way too long. But that was in mind that this was not, I didn't realize it was deluxe, I guess. So, I think if you cut off these first, 7 tracks, 29 minus 7 is 22, so that's not too long at all. So if you listen to the base album, it's probably fine, but you are going to miss out on a couple of really good songs. But yeah, if you start off at Coi and go through those 22 songs, it's it actually makes a big difference, because I only had this song at a 5 because I thought it was way too long. And even though it's diverse and has a lot of good songs, and it's like overall I feel like it's pretty thematic, I just thought it was too long, and that really changes things, because now I would give it a 6 or a 7 based on being only 22 tracks long. But I'm gonna keep it at a 5 just because this is what I reviewed and I have to stick to my guns on that. But if you are gonna listen to this discography, to, the Trippie Redd stuff, I don't know. I would say listen to the deluxe, because there are at least 3 really good songs, and I think the other songs hold up as well. So you just gotta keep that in mind anyway. We go on to his album Pegasus. So I don't know, this album I really didn't like. This one was a grind to get through. It's a 32 track. Did I do the deluxe version for Pegasus as well? So in his Trippie Redd did an interview. He always does interviews for his albums, and I guess he says that this is supposed to kind of be like a love letter to you, and you can kind of get that. It's kind of emotional in some areas, but I just think overall it's kind of a bad album. It feels very hollow. It feels like he's trying to say something, but I don't know what it is that he's trying to say in this album. It's not extremely cohesive, and there's a lot of misses. Some notable hits though would be Excitement, with Party Next Door, and this We song. It's kind of catchy, but it's kind of bad at the same time. I like it, but I remember I was listening to it in the car, and I'm like, I wonder if I should add this song. And then I'm like, well, I'll check what it is, what the name of it is, and if it has a stupid name, I'm not adding it. And I'm like, nah, I'll add it anyway, even though it does have a stupid name. But it is catchy. Two Fly is a pretty good song actually too. The Sean Kingston feature, I was very excited for it, but it's not as good as you might think it would be. And then Revenge is not a bad song, but it's not as good as the first one. Sleepy Hollow is pretty solid actually, pretty good gangster song. So this Hell Rain with Wayne and whoever the fuck this Hoodie Baby guy is, it's not a bad song, but it's not that good. The Sway Lee feature's not that great either, which is a shame because I'm also a big Ray Shremmerd fan. And then it doesn't end very well. And then it has I did the expanded edition. I don't know why I've been doing this. I think it's just the default on the app for Apple Music is that it gives you the expanded or the deluxe version of the album. I didn't watch all of these. It just comes with a bunch of lyric videos. I didn't watch any of them, but it also has these 1, 2, 6 extra outro. They're not even songs. They're laugh is literally just a laugh for a minute straight. Growl, it's bizarre. I don't get it. Anyway, I just think this is kind of overall kind of a bad album, because I feel there's no real direction or focus or themes. It does have some emo stuff. It has some gangster stuff, and I don't know. It just doesn't work. It doesn't feel like Trippie. So it's I give it a 3, just because there's a couple of decent songs. So this is Pegasus Neon Shark versus Pegasus, presented by Travis Barker Deluxe, because of course I do the deluxe. So this is kind of this has all of the original songs from Pegasus. This has all the original songs from Pegasus, starting from track 15 and all the way down to 40. But I'm not gonna review any of those. We are just going to focus on the 14 new tracks that were added, which is the Neon Shark versus Pegasus presented by Travis Barker edition or whatever. Because oh my god, why you go away? Like I said, it's all the same. I'm not going to review it. I'm only going to focus on the stuff with Travis Barker and this Dreamer song, because it's technically part of it, even though Travis Barker did not help out with that one. I don't know what Travis Barker did anyway, so don't ask. But it's really cool, and I guess maybe what he did is he maybe added the drums. I have no idea. I don't know if he helped with production, but that's the cool thing with this section of the album is it's actually a rock album basically. This is I was saying before, the Trippie Redd's fusion with emo is really obvious, in your face and present in these 14 tracks here. and it is so fucking good. It is like, if you're a fan of both rap and like punk like I am, like you are gonna love this shit. You'll eat it up. This is fantastic. Like every song pretty much hits, but like some of the best ones, like this Pill Breaker with Machine Gun Kelly and Blackberry, it's not as much. It's more of like that like new age like pop punk, like not like mid to early 2000s pop punk, like 2018 and beyond pop punk, like Machine Gun Kelly pop punk. And it's not bad. It's pretty solid. Like Trippie's vocals are like infectious. They get stuck in your head very easily. The production's solid. Blackberry, you know, he does his thing, and Machine Gun Kelly does his thing as well, even though I don't really think he adds that much to the song. But I think it'd be hard to make like an album like this without including Machine Gun Kelly, especially if you wanted to, you know, be popular or whatever. But yeah, no, a lot of these songs like bang. Like it's hard to even pick one out specifically besides Pill Breaker, just because they're all so good. You just gotta give it a shot. You gotta give it a listen. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, like front to back is really solid, but every track also holds its own. You could pick anyone out from any of these songs and you'd be bopping your head, you know. So I give it a 9 overall. It's very solid. And that, like I said, that's not including 15 onward. Next we have Trip at Night. And this, it's a complete expanded edition, but that's only because it has like lyric videos like his last album did as well, or like Pegasus did. But we're not going to focus on those. I didn't watch them. It's not important. So this album is so bizarre to me. Well, this is cool. I didn't even know that they did this because it doesn't do this on the app. He actually, like, he hits with his album covers. I think they're so fun to look at and bizarre and obviously trippy. Anyway, so this is so weird. Like almost every song on this album's production is like this, like in your face, over the top synth, and it's not even just one synth. It's the melody's a synth and the harmony's a synth, and then it has like your very typical like trap drums over it. And like in a vacuum, any one of these songs is like okay, but like if you're listening to every single song, you know, 18 songs in a row that sound the same, it sucks. Like this album is hard to get through, even though it has a lot of really good songs. It just like front to back, it all starts to blend together. It almost sounds like one big song. It's very bizarre, which is a shame because like arguably Trippie Redd's biggest hit, Mr. Rage, is on here. But like if you've heard Mr. Rage, almost every other song sounds like that. And that song is only like popular for its beat basically. So if you like that song, you're gonna like a lot of these songs, but it's just hard to listen to front to back. It does have like a lot of good hits, like I said though, like Holy Smokes with Uzi, I think bangs. I like Molly Hearts, I like MP5. This Drake feature kind of sucks, to be honest. I don't love it. Mr. Rage is good. Supernatural is pretty good even. Honestly, like a lot of these songs are just good in a vacuum, but then you listen to it like bop 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 in a row. Rich Motherfucker is one of my favorite Trippie songs currently. This one's constantly like in my rotation in the car. It's a good car song. Good, like this is just a gangster rap album. Don't expect too much like thematically from it, but it's like I said, good instrumentals, good production. It's just that one after another it sucks. So there's a lot of good nerd references here too, if you're a nerd like I am. Supercell is about Dragon Ball, which is really cool, and Baki, it's not really about like the anime Baki, but it references it. That's what it's referencing. Matt Hardy is a WWE reference. I don't know if that counts as nerdy, like maybe not back in the day, but it's very niche now. Like WWE is very niche, so I think that technically counts. I don't know. Danny Phantom, another nerd cartoon reference, so that's cool. Yeah, this is bizarre though, because like for me, like I gotta figure out how to say this word. 1 second. I just want to get this out of the way because it's the first time I'm ever saying it. It's not the first time that it's ever happened, obviously, but I think like posthumous like music is kind of bizarre. Unless you're like a fan of the artist before they die, I think it's kind of disingenuous to enjoy an artist after they passed away, which it's like I do it too. Everybody does it basically. I didn't even hear about Pop Smoke till after he died, and then I did. I'm like, dude, this guy fucking slaps. It just feels bad though, because then like they don't get awarded. They don't get the earnings from you listening to that song. So it is kind of a shame, but with that being said, both of these songs are pretty solid, and they're both artists that I did listen to while they were alive, even though I'm not a huge Juice fan. If you know me, you know that. I'm a big X fan, though. But I do think that this Matt Hardy 999 is better than Danny Phantom. Anyway, it's not really the point. I'm just saying, like, posthumous songs are kind of bizarre in my opinion. You know, after everything's said and done, I still give this album a 6. Like, I should probably rate it lower because it's like not a good album, but there's so many good songs, it's hard to not, you know, give it a better rating. So just keep that in mind if you ever do want to listen to this. Like, it's hard to listen to front to back. It's a grind. But if you want to pick out a couple of songs, I would recommend, you know, MP5, Holy Smokes, and Rich Motherfuckers. Those are the ones that I would most recommend, but there's a couple other good ones throughout. Like Mahali Hearts is even good, like I said, Supercell, Mr. Rage. And the newest addition to Trippie Redd's discography, Mansion Music. This album just came out, and this is kind of what sparked me listening to his discography. Discography listens is something I have done before. I do it a lot. Well, since this is a discography that I was working on when I had the idea, that's why I'm doing this one first, to like make it a video, that is. So I do plan on doing more of these, especially if this video does well. So yeah, just let me know. Drop in the comments if you like this type of video from me. I'm hoping this could be my breakout video. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but it's been fun to make. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Mansion Music is, I think, a really good like gangster album. That's what it is. It's all gangster music front to back, which is not entirely surprising. But yeah, there's plenty of really good features, great production throughout. If you just kind of want like mindless, you know, like gangster rap, just go ahead and throw this one on, and like almost every song bangs. You know, notably the Chief Keef verses, you know, always go hard. I love Chief Keef. He's one of my favorite rappers too. Let's see here. This Nightcrawler with Juice is like, I was just talking about posthumous music, but yeah, this song with Nightcrawler, or with Juice WRLD, called Nightcrawler, is fantastic. Really goes hard. Let's see here. Yeah, Rock Out with Chief Keef. Dude, this Swag Like Ohio song, like, you wouldn't think like this song would be good because it's Ohio. Like, I don't know why Ohio gets memed on in the first place, but this song might change your mind about it. This song is really fucking good. This Kodak feature is not particularly fantastic. Same with this Travis Scott one. And it's such a shame because it has a cool title. The intro is so good. It grabs you when this intro hits. And then the production throughout is pretty solid, but the vocals and the lyrics are so disappointing. And that's not even from Travis, which Travis, in my opinion, has been missing lately. Trippie's part also misses, which is a shame. And it's starred because other people like it, but this song sucks. It fucking sucks. Dirk's features are good. The Future feature is good. Yeah, I think this one's just one you can just throw on if you just want to have something bumping in your car. You know, it's like one of those albums. Well, this is interesting. I'm just reading this bio now. And I guess Chief Keef executively produced this album, which is cool. And actually, I don't know if you guys like Chief Keef, but if you follow him, he actually is stepping into the production world as of, well, it's probably been a couple years since he started that, but I don't really remember where I left off. But anyway, let's just wrap this album up. I think this is a really good album overall, front to back. Definitely need to check it out. I give it an 8. I know that sounds, I was just hyping it up and I give it an 8, but an 8's still really good, so don't fucking question me, man. This is my fucking channel. This is my fucking review. Anyway, so yeah, that's all the albums front to back, you know. So I didn't even know Danny Phantom had a video. That's kind of cool. So yeah, if we go ahead and take all of the albums, their scores, add them together and divide them by the amount of albums, take their average. The average ends up being a 6.1, which is only my first discography review, but I imagine a 6.1 is not all too bad. Because like I said, a 6 is still like a solid good album in my scale rating. So like for an average to be solid to good, that's not too bad. Although I do think like that doesn't really speak to how good his good albums are. I just think he has a couple flops in here that really draw down the average. But I think overall Trippie's a really good rapper. I think he's one of the better rappers of his generation, and he's one of my favorite rappers from his generation as well. I think he does the pop punk rap kind of thing the best out of anybody, even better than Juice in my opinion. But that's because I'm not like a huge Juice fan. Yeah, I think Trippie's one of those guys that's a good hit artist, but he's also a good album artist, and it's actually an opinion that changed of mine throughout listening to all of his albums. Because at first I just thought he was a bad, album guy, because I heard, I listened to a few of his albums as they came out, and I wasn't impressed. But like going back and re-listening to it, under new light, I think it's really good. Like definitely a really good artist overall. I mean, you can see the music talent, you can hear, the emotion that he puts into this stuff. Overall, very good artist, very good albums. So, I think that'll go ahead and wrap it up for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you feel like it, although I would really appreciate it. And hey, what happened? I thought you guys liked the Madden videos, and the last video only got 10. So please go run that bitch up, all right? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.